All right. Well, we're hitting 12:05. We'll get going here. So first, I'll introduce myself. I'm Woody Herzog, founder and president of WormWood SEO, and I'm just really excited for everyone to be here. And just a reminder that this is part 3 of a 4-part series, and we will have our next one week, same day and time, Wednesday at 12 p.m. So if you're here today, you're already registered for all of them, so you don't really need to do anything. Just mark your calendars and click back into that same Zoom link. A quick reminder that we are recording this, and that the recording, the presentation slides, and a success checklist and some other goodies will be available in the Digital Guerrilla Marketing portal, which we will explain how to access at the end of the webinar. So be sure to stay till that. So, first thing is, we've seen this around. We're in this together, and we really are. There are business owners helping other business owners, reaching across boundaries and barriers that were there, competitors helping each other. And this is our way of helping, is to try to share some of our knowledge and detail on internet marketing, whether it's SEO, reputation management, or pay-per-click. So you're also going to discover, why this team works together on mutual clients. It's just an absolutely dynamic team. And we're going to introduce here first Chris Lolini. He's the founder and CEO of Reputation Igniter. And that's really a cool tool for managing a reputation online. In fact, we just had a customer we sent over there that got a couple of negative reviews. And within about 48 hours, we had, I think, about 15 or 16 new reviews showing up after we loaded the system up. So it's just awesome. I've had exposure to a lot of the industry leaders in this area, in that niche, and Reputation Igniter is truly top of class. And then next, I'm going to introduce John Howard. He's our senior marketing consultant at Reach Local. Reach Local is a company that offers pay-per-click, but there's hundreds of pay-per-click companies out there. Reach Local has the very best model for offering this product. They have a very unique technology that allows them to do what they can do. I'll let John get into that later, but I get excited every time I talk about that. But John has been managing campaigns at Reach for over 11 years. And, he's always personally challenged me to find a system that out-delivers Reach. And, I always like a good challenge, but I still haven't, at the end of the day, WormWood's agnostic. So we will only surround ourselves with the best of the best, and Reach is that. And Jessica Lorenzen, our other panelist. Hello, Jessica, and she's our SEO expert in-house. She works on several of our niches for social media and comes from a marketing agency in North Carolina. She's absolutely brilliant in her SEO. And SEO is a lot like artwork, and she paints the SEO on canvas and page 1 rankings. It's a beautiful thing. So now the question is, how do we ensure our businesses thrive in this post-COVID-19 era? That's going to be the big question here, and that's what we're here to help you with. 4 phases to launching. So phase 1, which was week 1, was building trust online. The second one was update your digital business card. That was last week. And then today looks like my favorite, jumpstarting your digital marketing. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to John Howard.
All right, I think it's Jessica, real quick.
Oh, yeah. Jessica first. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, everybody. This is Jessica, and probably first time you're seeing me, but I will be back next week to talk a little bit more about your website and how important your website is, not only for SEO purposes, but also just for the interface you have with potential clients or your current clients. So we'll get into that next week. But one of the things I really wanted to kind of hit on was that SEO and Google AdWords and PPC are not necessarily interconnected, but there are some elements of them that kind of work cohesively, specifically the click-through rate. So the more click-throughs you have to your website, the more Google sees you as a legitimate property and a legitimate business, because they're seeing this influx of traffic coming to you. So as you're building up your search engine optimization results and campaigns, having a PPC program too, to kind of to partner with that, helps to get some of that click-through rate going. So it's a really good symbiotic relationship between Google AdWords, PPC, and also SEO. They're not, again, they're very two separate programs, but they do touch on each other a little bit and help each other out. A lot of times with our clients who do have both programs going, we see them really ramping up, not only right away with new business coming in, but then they're also able to sustain that on the long term too. So I am going to let, and again, just to reemphasize this graphic too, the higher the click-through rate, and the more likely you are to be up in those 1, 2, 3 positions that you want to be in, because that is where more people are clicking than on the second or third page. So with that, again, I will see all of you next week to talk a little bit more about the website itself. But until then, I will hand it back to John.
Thanks, Jessica. And before I get started on the search engine marketing, I want to give a huge shout out to Jessica and WormWood. Jessica works on multiple campaigns for my clients, and she just does a phenomenal job. The results that my clients have seen with what she's done has just been incredible. I mean, we've seen huge page 7, page 8 jumps from page 10 to page 2 or page 1 on Google. And this is across all different types of verticals. So I know we're on PPC today, or pay-per-click, but I want to give a shout out to Jessica and Wormwood. They do fantastic work. So good afternoon. My name is John Howard. We're going to be talking about pay-per-click, also known as search engine marketing today. Why search engine marketing? We've got a few stats here. 65% of the people that click on Google Ads when they're looking to buy an item online. 80% of consumers turn to search engines when looking for a local business. You want to be in front of prospects at the exact moment they're seeking information about the service that you offer. And also 60% of adults search on tablets and smartphones when they're looking for a product. We've seen this slide before. We saw it last week. This is just a reminder about what pay-per-click is, where the organic section is. Pay-per-click here is at the top in the pink. Then you have the maps section, and then you have the local pack results, and then you have the organic section down at the bottom. So today I'm going to be focused on the pay-per-click section, or search engine marketing, which is at the top in the pink there. The customer journey. So this is real important. This is there's 9 different steps through the customer journey, and some prospects go through all 9 of them. Some of them maybe go through 3 or 4 of the steps. But number 1, the prospect, let's say that their car is making a revving noise. So they fire up their tablet, they fire up their mobile phone, and they go to Google and they type in, "Why is my car making a revving noise on the highway?" They might click on the paid search ad, or they might click in the organic section. Then step 2, they might read a few articles on cars, what causes the different noises, what to do, potentially who to reach out to. Then number 3, they might check Facebook. They might go on Facebook and talk to some of their friends or talk to some of their family about what they could possibly do to fix the issue. Number 4, they might email friends to ask for advice. Number 5, they might check news online or different types of articles. Number 6, visit review sites. And I'll be tossing it over to Chris here in a few minutes. And so review sites, very important. Number 7, they might check mobile app, geofence display ads. And that's a different product that we can cover on another day. Number 8, they might search for a local auto shop via the paid search or in the organic. And then number 9, the final step, they'll visit your website from the ad or the organic link, and then pick up the phone and give you a call or fill out a form submit. Now, the prospects might not go through all 9 of these steps, but they might go step number 1. Then once they get to the website, they might check on your reviews, which is step number 6. Then they go to step number 8, where they go back to Google, type in your business, then either click on the paid search or the organic. And then number 9, they reach out to you via phone or email or form submit. And I'm going to toss it over to Chris real quick. But before I do, quick story, probably one of the most phenomenal performances I've seen with internet marketing or reviews. I have a client that I've been working with for the past 11 years. Their reviews were down in the 2s. And if you don't know, down in the 2.5s, the 2.2 out of 5 stars is not very good. I tried to talk them into meet with Chris earlier. They didn't want to do it. They finally pulled the trigger and met with Chris. And in the past 3 months, maybe 4 months, they've gone from a 2.2 on Google, a 2.5 on Yelp, to 4.5 stars out of 5 on both of them. It's been phenomenal. And this is just in a quick 3 months. They have tons of clients that they never asked for reviews from before. And Chris's platform made it easy for this client to get those reviews. And now they're 4.5 stars out of 5 on both review platforms. And there's other ones too that I'm sure Chris will fill you in on. But Chris, take it away.
Thanks, John. I'm over here blushing. You're too kind for words. But, and that's really oftentimes the linchpin for a lot of marketing. And so, John, I love what you just shared there with the customer journey and kind of highlighting that, because that was something that I kind of touched on in the first call that we had done, right? And then the difference in the terms of the segmenting and how it goes from kind of this really wide funnel to a very narrow sort of search, and realizing that they could get very far down there and then see your reviews and kind of jump ship. And so the question is, what does trust look like when somebody is trying to verify, hey, is this a trustworthy company? Just like Molly talked about last week, people want to do business with people that they like, that they know, and that they trust. And so how do we convey that trust online? And the big thing is through reviews. Obviously, reading the quality of the content that you share, but at the end of the day, this is the easiest way when we're so inundated and overwhelmed with information, how we can kind of make a clear decision. And there's a reason, right? If you look at what's displaying here for one of my clients, right? When somebody types in the company name, you see that the top organic results are all review sites. So obviously Google's saying, hey, review sites are important because that's the way that our users, right, aka all of us who use search engines, leverage our platform or leverage our service to identify and use local businesses. And so trust definitely comes down to your reviews. And the question is what is it look, what's that signal saying? Is it one of congruence and alignment, or is it one of misalignment, right? That's going to cause them to kind of question or doubt your reputation. And so it's important to focus and spend time there building that foundational block to your business. Because number one, when somebody clicks on you, you want to make sure that they see good stuff. Now, John, if you wouldn't mind advancing to the next slide here, this is the thing that I think should worry most business owners that most are not aware of, right? Is the question is, are you actually capturing your own referrals, right? So in the sense that, let's say that somebody makes a referral through that email, right, that John talks about, right? If they email their friends and they say, hey, have you found a good painting company around here, right? And their friends give them back, a recommendation, and they type you into Google and they search you. Well, in the green boxes, you can see that that's the organic stuff that pertains to that specific company. But what you'll see in the red is actually what John does for people, is that he makes sure that their placement is good and that they potentially could win other competitors or win other clients from their competitors, right? And an example here is that those ads are taking up prime real estate, something we call above the fold, and it's the majority of above the fold that are catching their attention. And somebody unknowingly, because all it does is say in 2 little words, ad right there, right? Somebody might click on that and end up on somebody else's webpage and just call the phone number that's on there. And on top of that, even in those ads, they've started to show reviews because they know that that's more compelling for the user using the search engines to click on that ad. And when that ad gets clicked, Google gets paid. And so Google likes the fact that ad's getting paid. So anything they can do to draw more attention and credibility to that ad is going to facilitate and accelerate, the use of those AdWords. And so this is just something I invite people to think about is, hey, do you have a compelling enough reputation online that it is drawing people's attention down and towards your reputation? Or is there the potential for a competitor to actually capture a referral that was or should have been yours because you haven't made a compelling case for yourself online? And so that's just kind of a piece of that I think is just an accelerant for somebody using pay-per-click. So if you've got good reviews and you've been working on them since 2 weeks ago, well, then now you can leverage those into the pay-per-click that you're using for John, that John's talking about here. So hopefully, John, that kind of hit on some high points for you. But yeah, excited for more to come.
That was fantastic. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
So now that we know where search engine marketing is, it's towards the top of the page. You get your text ad there that Chris just went over. One of the most important parts about a search engine marketing campaign is tracking results and making regular adjustments. You have a cost per click, and I'm not going to go through all these, but one of the most important ones is your cost per click. That's what you pay per click. So when you go and set up a campaign, and you have two different options to set up a campaign. You can either set up the campaign on your own, or you can outsource the campaign and have somebody else run the campaign for you with technology. And usually it's separate in terms of like what's best for you. Like I've seen smaller campaigns that only have a couple of different keywords on there. And on something like that, sometimes it's just best to run it on your own. And if anybody on this call ever needs help on setting up a campaign on their own, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm definitely there to help out for you. Or if you think the campaign might be a little too complicated, or if it's something that you just don't want to handle, then it could be a scenario where you might want to reach out and have and outsource the campaign. But when you do get into setting up the campaign, you'll have to go through all these different bullet points plus multiple other factors. Cost per lead, cost per click, cost per lead, how much are you paying per lead, cost per acquisition, how much you're paying per sale that comes in, revenue per lead, quality score, direct conversions from marketing, latent conversions, keyword tracking. I won't go through all of them today, but those are just some of the factors that go into a search engine marketing campaign. Common page search pitfalls. So you're focused on clicks, not leads. What's wrong? You're optimizing for and driving clicks, so you're generating clicks that people aren't converting. How does this affect you? Google sees that your content is not relevant to user search terms. Bid prices will increase, quality score will go down, ad rank will go down, you didn't capture leads. Real quick, we've seen quality score a couple of different times. That's the relevancy for your website. It's a score that Google gives your website. Also, I believe it factors in somewhat potentially on SEO, but that's something that Jessica might be able to answer for us later. But it's just something that you want to keep in mind when you build your website and you maintain your website. You try to manage campaigns manually. You think you'll have more control if you manage the campaigns manually, but the opposite is true. How does this affect you? You'll never beat automation based on artificial technology. You can only focus on a small portion of the market. You might be missing out on the rest. Money, resources, and time suck for your business potentially. Again, it's whatever's best for you. If you have the time, if you have the money, if you have the resources to manage on your own, that might be best, or you might want to outsource. You only focus on Google search marketing. Now, this is key, especially for this area in King County, because we have Microsoft here in Bing. You're only advertising on Google due to resources, budget, or belief that you're getting the most bang for your buck on Google. How does this affect you? 36% of the market has never seen your ad, Bing and Yahoo. You're missing out on less expensive traffic and leads from other search destinations. Again, I recommend all my clients be on Bing and Yahoo just because you'll get a cheaper cost per click over there and a cheaper lead, or usually a cheaper lead. Your budget is too small. What's wrong? You assume that since your small budget isn't working, you shouldn't spend more on search marketing. How this affects you? You're missing out on better ad placement that can drive more activity. You're missing out on increased impression share. If you discontinue spend, you're missing out completely on the power of search marketing. Number 5, you're focused on the last click before a lead. What's wrong? You missed the whole customer journey of clicks, emails, and reviews that lead up to the sale because you're only looking at which marketing drove the lead. Again, that goes back to that customer journey. We need to put ourselves in that prospect's shoes and walk through that customer journey with them. How this affects you? You're only seeing a small piece of the overall buying story. You make misinformed marketing decisions across all channels. You waste marketing dollars. You target the wrong people with the wrong message, and you miss out on leads. You're not testing, tracking, and making updates. What's wrong? You set it and forget it once you get your campaign to a good place. How this affects you? You could miss a search engine technology update that negatively affects your campaigns. Campaigns with no activity will eventually get decreased activity. You could be spending on keywords that are driving clicks, but not conversions, and you leave money on the table. Thank you. That is it. And I'm ready for some Q&A.
All right, thanks, John. That's absolutely fantastic details there. Let's get into the Q&A. Actually got one from Hank. And Hank is asking, does pay-per-click help your SEO?
Great question. Pay-per-click does not help the SEO. SEO helps the pay-per-click, I know, in a couple of different ways, but the pay-per-click, as far as I know and what I've seen in 12 years, it does not help the SEO. I mean, Jessica might be able to touch on that a little bit more, but I know SEO carries pay-per-click and helps pay-per-click out more than pay-per-click does for the SEO.
Okay, Jessica, what do you think? You're on,
Yeah.
you gotta unmute, there you go.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm going to agree with that. The only thing, just kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier, the only thing that helps is the fact that you're getting more traffic to your site, which is a signal to Google that you have relevant content, that you're providing the right content to the right people at the right time. So Google does use that as a signal for part of their organic search rankings, but that is kind of really the only place that you see a lot of kind of overlap. So yeah, it's minimal, but it is there. I mean, it's not to say that especially using a Google product always helps too. Google loves when you use Google products.
Yeah.
But so pretty much yes, no, but a tiny bit.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Yep.
All right, it looks like Jeff has now asked, does SEO help pay-per-click? That's interesting. So good way to read it the other direction, Jeff.
Oh.
So I would, let's see, Jessica, do you want to hit that one?
I will. I give the answer will kind of be no, not really. The only thing that does help is that when you're working on a pay-per-click campaign and you're targeting certain keywords, you do want to have them on the site, and you want to have that content on the site so that Google recognizes your relevancy with their Google AdWords and your website. At the same time, that's also a factor that goes into SEO as well. You want to make sure you have the right content with the right keywords across the site. So it does in some ways, but again, it's not a one-to-one correlation.
Yeah, it might help out the quality score a little bit, and the higher your quality score is, the lower your cost per lead is. But Google hasn't given us a real direct answer on that. I mean, I always tell my clients, you want to do both. You want to be in both spots, SEO and pay-per-click area. I mean, regardless if either one helps the other one out, you want to be in both spots, because some prospects will just skip right over one section, and some prospects will skip over the other section. And so as people have their searching habits, and what we found over here is if people like to click on the organic section, that's where they always click. Or if people like to click on the pay-per-click section, that's where they usually click. So people get into habits of where they click. And so we say, hey, regardless of whether one helps out the other, you want to be in both spots.
Cool, right on. So we've got, let's see, 2 more questions, but you know, I've got one, and I just feel like this is one of the questions we get asked the most about pay-per-click, and that is, how do they determine who is first? Is it who pays the most per click? Or you mentioned the quality score. I know that's it, but can you explain a little bit about that? I think a lot of people think that, hey, I'll pay $15 a click to be number 2, and then the second place person is $12 a click, and so forth. But John, can you
Great
share
question.
that?
Yeah, fantastic question. So the pay-per-click area is an auction, but there are a couple other factors that go into it, including the quality scores, what he just mentioned. So let's take, for example, company A, they're bidding $20 for spot number 1 on pest control. Then you have company B that's bidding $17 for hopefully spot number 1 on pest control. If everything else is equal in terms of quality score, that means the relevancy, that means the score that Google gives you, then the person that's bidding $20 is going to be in spot number 1, and the person that's bidding $17 will be in spot number 2. But if Google has a higher quality score for the person who's bidding $17, meaning their website has better relevancy, prospects have a better experience on that website, then Google might put that person, that business who's bidding $17 in spot number 1 ahead of the business that's bidding $20. So even though Google might be missing out on some money there, it's all about the user experience for them. And so that's why I feel like it's so important to have your content up to date. And again, that goes back to SEO, and to have all your links fixed, everything just completely up to date and looking good on your website. So when prospects do get there, they spend time on there, and then Google gives you a higher quality score, and that'll definitely help out your pay-per-click.
There, very good. Thanks, John. Well, I think we can wrap this up now. Looks like someone said that you've answered my question, and I think we're all set.
Perfect.
All right. Well, Chris, do you want to wrap us up?
Yeah. So again, just reminder that the password is 2020 to get into the portal. You can log into that. I would assume that John will probably follow up with you with an email, just kind of letting you know that everything's been uploaded to the system, to the portal, and you can have access to it. We really look forward to seeing everybody next week, same time, 12 o'clock, where Molly and Jess are going to jump deep dive into kind of what is the best sort of, low hanging fruit to really get your search engine optimization up and running so that we can really help you get to that next level. So with that, we'll say adieu, and we will see you next Wednesday. See ya.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.